Hey, this is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, the Big Bad Booty Daddy, and you listen to IcoPod, the best podcast going today. Holler if you hear me.
And we're back with episode 109 of IcoPod. I am Bob Collins Jr. With me, as always, is Austin Skinner. This is the final episode of IcoPod as a two-man booth. Austin, as we conclude 1994 and heading into 1995, a third member will be joining the squad. And I kind of was thinking, you know, how like a TV show maybe gets renewed for a third season, and to kind of spice it up for that third season, maybe ratings are going down a little bit. They could kind of throw in a character that no one expects and no one knows what they'll do. And that's exactly what Hogan 98 Money will bring to IcoPod.
In a sense, but you know, as you were introducing us here and kind of going over how we will be moving forward with a three-man booth, I couldn't help but to think, you know, if 109, if we were 109 years old, we'd probably be dead. So
I would hope we'd be dead.
Yeah. So maybe that just gives you an idea where IcoPod's at. I don't know. But hopefully not. Hopefully our listeners don't think that, because we've seen quite a spike in Facebook likes. We've seen, what would you say, Bob? A slight spike in the downloads, maybe?
I would say so, yeah.
So that is good news. Our Redbubble shirt shop is up and running. I finally purchased mine after about a year. So that's good. And with Dallas joining, I'm hoping that he will bring, and I can almost guarantee that he will bring a fresh kind of shot in the arm to IcoPod, especially because, much like me, a lot of this stuff he's never seen before, including maybe more stuff than me that he's never seen. So that'll be interesting, and hopefully Bob can kind of keep us under control, because for a little backstory, I've known Hogan 98 Money since he was Hogan couple of cents money. In other words, when he was a child and I was a child. We grew up together. Our dads were friends, so I've known him much, much longer than Bob. But I also dislike him much more than Bob, because he shits on my graphics that I make for the podcast, and Bob doesn't. Bob just says, "Yeah, that's cool."
I just go with it.
Yeah, Bob's probably like, "That looks like fucking shit," but he don't say that to me.
No, I think you do a great job. Anytime anybody does something that I can't do, I automatically say that is great.
Yeah.
Even if maybe like, you know, an expert would be like, wow, that's trash. I'd be like, well, I can't do that.
Right. Well, so the
shittiest NBA basketball player to me is amazing, because I can't do that. Or a football player, like the worst quarterback ever, like Ty Detmer, threw like 7 interceptions in one game. To me, that's a great performance, because I sure as hell can't do that.
Well, that's where you and Dallas differ, Bob, because as we talked about off the podcast, I'm working on the new logo, because as everybody knows who's a longtime listener, we do switch up every season to a newer, shinier logo. So I had sent it along to Dallas because I was working on it, and he said, "You know what, man? This isn't good. Let me just take it over." And it really hurt my pride, but I nonetheless did, because I'm not going to turn down a free service.
Right.
So Dallas does it as a job. He wants to do it for free for us. Hey, fuck my pride. The logo's all yours. So we'll see what happens here. I am looking forward to the introduction. I think the episodes are going to start running a little bit longer. So as Bob and I have discussed and mentioned a little bit on the podcast, we might look into maybe only recording one episode per sit down, and maybe recording definitely once a week, but maybe even twice to kind of make up the longer episodes instead of doing the two back to back like Bob and I would do. With a third person, a third opinion, third commentary voice. We're probably going to end up going a little bit longer and having to look at our scheduling and see how that's going to work out. But I am excited.
Well, and another thing too, that when there's a third person, I don't know how you feel about this, but I haven't even asked you. But God forbid if there's a week where I can't go and do this, or if you can't do this, or Dallas can't do this, there's always at least two of us,
right,
to continue on.
Right.
Now, of course, I'm the guy that does all the notes and stuff, so I would have to pass it along to one of you guys if there was ever a reason for me not to be able to do it. But
right.
So a little back.
Funnily, yeah, and funnily enough, Dallas had mentioned the same thing. So I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength of we want to get to a point where the synergy is so good that we're almost interchangeable. So if one of us needs the week off, which we probably shouldn't, we've been doing this for 2 years straight as it is. But if the case may be, hopefully we are at that point. So I am looking forward to just the breath of fresh air on IcoPod. So hopefully everybody else is as well.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this moment for months to get finally into 1995.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably no reason to delay this episode as we round out 1994. I'll do the observer notes as per usual. There's only one house show, and again, it's for the USWA. It's not even for the WWF because they just decided not to run house shows for the holiday season, which is kind of, I feel like, different than it was last year.
Yeah.
And then there's one syndication match that we will be watching, and it is, of course, part of the tag team title tournament between the Heavenly Bodies and our favorite tag team, the Bushwhackers. So get ready for that stuff. But just a couple of observer notes this week. Last week's Raw got a 2.7 rating. So it's kind of middle of the road, it seems like, for this year.
Yeah.
And the second piece of news is that it was mentioned, I believe, a couple of weeks ago that Chris Candido would be working All Japan and then coming into the WWF. But that is not the case. He is not working the All Japan tour and is instead going to be coming into the WWF very soon, along with his girlfriend Tammy.
Oh boy!
So
that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
because
tighten
I feel
up your
like
belt there, folks.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like there's nothing really on the program quite like that presentation. So I think that'll be actually really nice. A nice,
yeah. Who knows? Who? Maybe does he come in as the no gimmicks needed?
Right, and that's the thing. I don't even really know, and that's what excites me because really that tandem, a young tandem like that, guy and girl, blue chipper sort of dude, just great shape, good looking couple. I think is really kind of where we are headed for the rest of the 90s. So it's exciting to kind of start getting on that train with these guys coming in.
Yeah, and I've always praised Tammy for her work in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah.
She was spectacular there, and she really became one of the top heels in that company. And of course, Candido was really good as well. But this should be interesting to see what they do when they eventually come into the WWF. But speaking of kind of territories, the house show that I'm referencing, of course, is the USWA, and it took place on December 26th, 1994, which is, of course, the same day as Monday Night Raw. And this one drew 1,800 fans, which is a larger attendance, and it probably has to do with the Christmas season. And the live gate was $10,600. So it looked like a pretty decent day there for the USWA.
Yeah.
It featured 9 matches, and they were Reggie B. Fine taking on Tony Williams, Ken Raper taking on Frank Parker, Miss Texas squaring off against Scott Bowden, the USWA Tag Team Champions, the Moondogs, Spot and Rex, defending against Ron and Jim Harris. Then I guess the next match right after that, Ron and Jim defended their new tag team titles against PG-13. So I guess that's how you know who won that one.
Right.
Bill Dundee teamed up with Jimmy Valiant to take on Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert in a loser gets tarred and feathered match. Sid Vicious and Spellbinder teamed up to take on Jerry Lawler and Brian Christopher. There was a 2-ring battle royal, and then the main event saw the USWA Unified World Champion Sid Vicious defending against Brian Christopher.
Yeah, I'm going to go to that.
I'm going to check it out as well. Brian Christopher doing 3 matches.
Pulling triple duty.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. And imagine how well he could bump around for Sid. Like, that's probably going to be really solid.
You know, it's funny you say that, because when I looked at the card before going into it, I've always had an appreciation for Brian Christopher. And ever since I've started watching like Memphis and stuff, and I'll look up YouTube clips or whatever, I would believe he's playing the face here. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't watched any of it yet, but
okay.
An interesting dynamic of a heel Sid Vicious against, I'm again assuming, a babyface Brian Christopher, because for the large part, for the most part, aside from like Too Cool, I kind of identified Brian Christopher as a heel. So
yeah, I mean, and
just a match between Sid and Christopher, really in any capacity,
right?
Are people in Memphis really believing Brian Christopher taking on a guy like Sid Vicious? Like this, the visual of that doesn't seem like it makes sense.
And yeah, I think that's a really good point, and I think that's why it almost intrigues me even more, especially with a crowd like that. How are they? You know, I want to be in that atmosphere. I want to see kind of the interaction between the crowd and in that match, because I feel like it would be kind of a, do we really buy this? And then it turns into, wow, we're really invested in this. That's in my mind's eye, I hope, kind of what happens with a situation like that. But yeah, between that, the 2-ring battle royal, it's kind of a mixed bag from there. But USWA, I feel like I skip enough. So I'm going to go to this one.
Yeah. I think I would check that out. So it will be interesting to see how the USWA kind of continues on in 1995, because I will still read the house show cards, even though I think for the most part, you and I probably don't know 60% of the people.
Oh, yeah, at least. Yeah.
So we're just kind of basing it off of the trends. And I'm sure Dallas will maybe only know Sid.
I can't wait for Dallas to just continually shit on all the so like these match cards.
Oh, absolutely. Tarred and feathered. I mean, he might like that because he would go to every show that had a casket match. So maybe he'll like tarred and feathered.
Right. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so I guess we would both go to that one. Now let's go into some syndication, which is probably a match on paper that neither one of us really would want to ever see under any circumstance.
No.
And it has nothing to do with the Heavenly Bodies, but has everything to do with the Bushwhackers. Luckily, this match is in fact on YouTube, and it's about, well, the video at least is 6 minutes and 4 seconds, courtesy of Monsoon Classic. A great place for any kind of old school wrestling needs that you need for singular matches or full shows for that matter. So if you guys want to kind of tune in with us, just search Bushwhackers Heavenly Bodies. It's going to be Superstars December 24th, 1994. This uploaded on June 4th, 2015. And it currently has 6,045 views.
Well, guess what? That's 6,045 views too fucking many.
Yeah, that's true. But then after this episode, there's going to be probably 300,000 views.
Yeah, because we're promoting the fuck out of it.
That's right. Free of charge, because I still don't understand how to make money with a podcast. So I'm going to count down from 3, and then we're going to hit play, and then hopefully the 6 minutes doesn't feel like an hour and a half. 3, 2, 1, play.
How many ads do you think we're going to get in this 6 minutes?
That's a really great question. I'm going to say none, because I don't see like a yellow dot or whatever.
That's true.
Well, it's got one, but it's not impacting anything. Just like a little pop-up ad.
Cornette introducing his team here. I really like the little updated entrance stage with the lights and kind of almost a little ramp that they're coming down.
Yeah. They've definitely kind of modernized it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that the Heavenly Bodies aren't sporting the wings,
Yeah.
protruding wings that they had done for, I think, one time.
Yeah. Not a fan. I gotta be honest, my interest in the bodies has cooled considerably.
I would agree with that.
So that's kind of where we're at with them. And speaking of cooled considerably, if not frozen over like the Ice Age, my interest in the Bushwhackers is pretty much in the negatives.
Which, it's always kind of shocked me because the Bushwhackers previously were the sheep herders, and they would go around basically murdering people.
Yeah.
With spikes, and there'd be bloody matches, and then they come to the WWF, and they're just a comedy act, making probably way too much money. It's just kind of weird how characters can just change like that so drastically.
Yeah.
Now, if the Bushwhackers win this, I've lost all hope for this new generation.
If the Bushwhackers win this, there will be no 1995 IcoPod.
Right.
This is the swan song if the Bushwhackers win this.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping for the Bushwhackers to win. Largely so I can just tell Dallas, hey man, we've decided against it, and he can then be like, why did I spend $60 on a microphone if I'm never going to use it?
Joke's on you, motherfucker.
Not my problem, pal.
We are getting some really basic stuff here. At least the bodies have been in pretty much control since the get-go here. Jimmy Del Rey working over the leg of one of the Bushwhackers, because unlike Bob, I do not know the difference between the two.
That's going to be Luke right there.
Okay, Puke is in the ring there with Jimmy Del Rey. Cornette without the glasses is fucking scary looking.
It's a little weird.
Butch tries to come in as the bodies are getting some double teams in on behind the ref's back. Was that even a legal tag, or they just switch out there?
No, they're just switching out there.
Yeah.
And the referee's not going to do nothing about it. Yeah, I mean, clearly the Bushwhackers aren't capable of doing anything because the bodies start off with kind of attacking them before the bell, and they've, like you mentioned, done basic stuff. Cornette just did the weakest slaps ever, and then Del Rey did an awful light drop over the middle rope because probably all of this is crippling them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see, because I know Bushwhacker Luke made a couple of appearances in ECW in like 1998. So I wonder how that would play out.
I can only shudder to think.
That'd be pretty bad. Now, Luke did make a tag to Butch, but the referee, of course, didn't see it. This is a spot that happens in probably 97% of all tag team matches.
Correct, yeah. So we are in a camel clutch here. The Gigolo. Still, the last couple of tag team matches with these guys, now that I think of it, I feel like Dr. Tom hasn't been in very much.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation, which would be surprising considering Del Rey's the one that is in the worst shape of the two. Has had numerous injuries.
Mm-hmm. And then again, maybe they're trying to polish him after all his time off. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. But I want to know right now that Pritchard is tan and he's looking to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
If I would probably end up splitting the bodies personally and just kind of try and get Pritchard going a little bit.
Yeah, and it's so crazy too.
He's even kind of sounded like Rowdy Piper with his promo.
Yeah. Well, he can talk. Yeah. It's crazy too because at the beginning I think we were both feeling Jimmy Del Rey a little bit more. I mean, I was always a Pritchard guy, but Jimmy Del Rey was like, he had the moves. He was doing the moonsaults. It's like, fuck, who is this guy?
I was gonna say he was flashier about it.
Yeah.
Butch just cleaned house with about 11 clotheslines.
Right.
He's going to go for a power slam, but Jimmy Del Rey tripped him. And there you go. All right. Well, Pritchard pinned him.
Thank God.
And that one lasted all of about 5 minutes. But with all the introductions, it was probably around 3.
Well, here's my question. Why did the bodies need a screwed finish? Why did they need to pull his leg down?
That's probably the $1 million question. I feel like Cornette is gonna get beat up here because he's staying around.
They're gonna lick him.
Yeah, I don't know why he was staying around ringside when his guys left.
Yeah.
Now he's running away from the bushwhackers.
The most comically he possibly can.
All right, so here's the bracket. Bam Bam and Tatanka advanced over men on a mission. Now the Heavenly Bodies advance to the Bushwhackers. The Bodies will fight either the Smoking Guns or Well Done. And of course, Bam Bam and Tatanka will take on the winners of Head Shrinkers and Anvil Owen. And that will be the match next week. It will be Anvil and Owen taking on the Head Shrinkers. So
I'm down for that.
I am as well. That's a pretty good featured match for 95 superstars to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, you know what? At least that was like 3 minutes. That wasn't the worst thing ever.
And they didn't win, so fuck you out of that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? And a funny story here before we get into Raw. I was listening to a Sid Vicious interview with Sean Mooney before getting on the show here.
Okay.
And you want to know what is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard from Sid Vicious?
Tell me he brought up softball.
He did. He brought up softball and how that's how he was discovered by Jerry Lawler.
Oh.
But so he main evented WrestleMania 8. That's his first WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
He tells Sean Mooney that he didn't even know that it was WrestleMania.
What
he thought it was a house show.
What the fuck?
And I'm just like, dude, the ring skirt says WrestleMania. You did a promo before you went out talking about WrestleMania. But he didn't know. He's like, I remember the Hoosier Dome and all that, but like I didn't know. I just thought it was a house show. I just thought it was a regular shot. I didn't even know it was WrestleMania.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. And I was like, holy bloody hell. How? That makes no sense.
Does he have a softball for a fucking brain?
I don't know. But
that's insane.
That was on the Sean Mooney like primetime wrestling or primetime podcast, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah. So that's really funny.
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish listening to that at some point and see what other nonsense. I didn't even know I was working in WCW. I thought it was like a local indie.
Yeah, I don't know. The logo? What logo? I didn't see it.
Yeah, and he was trashing Hogan a little bit, saying that he was crying like a woman about like the Royal Rumble in '92, and he thought that Vince set him up to get booed, so he was back there whining. And he's like, I can't work at a place where grown men are crying like women, so that's why he put in his notice. Like, okay, man.
That seems like a Scott Steiner thing to say.
Yeah, it does. But it was Sid. And that is just another reason why I love Sid Vicious.
Dude, yeah, because he's the biggest fucking idiot sometimes when it comes to stuff he says.
Yeah, but you know what? He was honest though. He was like, you know, Sean, I honestly never cared about winning or losing or who I was working with. I just wanted to make money. But you know what? If you really look throughout his career, I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He did lose the people that
he
shouldn't have lost to, but he just didn't care.
That's
because after all, wrestling is scripted. It's not real,
and it's a job. It's regardless if it's your passion or not. I don't work at my job, and if I don't make a sale, I don't act like they took it out of my pocket. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're losing a match, you can't act like oh my God, I'm actually losing a match. Like, no, dude. It's no.
Right. No, absolutely. I guess there's nothing else to really kind of talk about leading into this. So it's time for the final Monday Night Raw of 1994.
Boo. I have a feeling it's not going to be a good show.
Probably not. And we had mentioned before getting on here that the last probably 2 or 3 months of television
brutal
have not been that great.
And it's probably been brutal listens for you guys. So thanks for sticking in there with us.
Most likely. So hopefully with the new year, it's a new WWF. It'll be more entertaining. This episode runs 46 minutes and 31 seconds. The time that we've been talking so far, I think, has been just over a half hour. So roughly a half hour. So this should be hopefully, who knows? This could be another 2.5 hour episode.
We're looking probably at 2 hours because don't forget, as we deliver always on everything, we do have our end of the year awards to look forward to.
Yeah.
So that might be a little bit of a breakdown. I know we wanted to touch on some of our predictions for people coming in 1995, because as we know, it's going to be a very dynamic year of roster changes. So I know we wanted to touch on that. So there's still quite a bit to get our teeth through in this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to count down from 5, and then I'm going to hit the old-fashioned play button on my PS4, and hopefully it doesn't crap out on me. The weather here in Syracuse has not been spectacular. It's been cold. It's been snowing.
Right.
And that is a recipe for disaster when it comes to internet connection. But here we go. I will count down, and then we will kind of hopefully not get too emotional here for the final episode. Okay. Keep it together.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh boy, we're starting with an opening throwback of The Undertaker. Fucking great. That makes me excited.
Oh, I guess he's wrestling tonight. Do we know that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Diesel is going to be on the King's Court this week.
Yeah, that was something we were looking forward to because Diesel's been killing it. Let me turn my closed captions on.
Yeah, we're reminded here of Tatanka being a druid last week. Tatanka this week will be wrestling British Bulldog. Why is his still photo the same picture of him when he was a good guy?
From 93.
Yeah.
Because they do have a still photo of him as a mean guy.
Right, with a suit and everything.
With the suit on, yeah.
Oh, here he comes. Tatanka with Ted DiBiase, Shawn Michaels, and Vince McMahon are on.
Still on commentary here, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Shawn still has a broken hand, so that's probably why he's still doing that.
Vince talking about DiBiase having Diesel on King's Court. Shawn tells Vince to adjust his toupee, which is fucking great. That's Ted here. Talking about this, everything he got for Christmas was all he wanted. Bulldog's going to get the same thing for Christmas. The $1 Million Team gave Lex Luger last week a full dose of the $1 Million Corporation. Ha ha ha. What a lame. Tatanka's just kind of pacing in the background, looking like a real J-Bro.
Tatanka did nothing there. Remember when Tatanka and Shawn Michaels hated each other? That was fun.
Yeah, and then he just acted like he wasn't even standing next to him. That was cool.
Yeah.
So we go right into the Raw opening here. Same one we've had. I'm hoping for the first episode of 1995, they fucking switch it up. Because I'm sick of seeing Damien Demento from 1993.
I'm surprised they haven't changed it already, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So here we go here. Tatanka pacing in the ring, looking thick.
He really is.
That fucking belly is just thick.
His chest is looking better than it was at Survivor Series, though.
Yeah, that's true. Not as flabby, for sure.
Yeah.
Bulldog here. He's got the Sting jacket on.
Sure does.
It's Boxing Day in Canada.
Fireworks again here in the local gymnasium. Probably not a smart idea.
Yeah, the fucking gym teacher's pissed. Because how are the kids going to climb the rope now?
It's on fire.
Right. Unlike Bulldog's career here in 1994.
Yeah.
The lighting is at least pretty good for the high school gymnasium.
I would say so. What's amazing is, Bulldog was this, I would say, low-level main event guy for WCW. He turns at SummerSlam and is already kind of just there.
It just, totally lost in the shuffle, for sure.
What's his direction right now? Feuding with nobody. He doesn't have an angle or anything.
He's just a good guy.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Oh, we need to get the bad guy over. Put him with Bulldog. He's still a face, right? Oh yeah, pair him up with Bulldog.
It's like they signed him just to make him hey, he's a name, so we'll just kind of put him in there.
Yep. There's been one piece of hair wetted and matted down to Tatanka's forehead the whole time he's been out here, and it's really starting to get to me. Because it's across his whole face. You'll see it, Bob. They're in a headlock right now.
Oh, I think I just saw it.
Yeah. These two, I can't imagine, are going to have a 5-star classic here.
No way.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
Absolutely. They both have very poor footwork as it is.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to run into each other and just kind of be like, oh, what are we doing?
Bulldog's
Bulldog's going to be like, I'm Fooked. Brett, what do we do? And Tatanka's going to be like, I'm not Brett. He's going to be like, oh, Fook, what's going on?
And not to mention, Tatanka just sandbagged the fuck out of that arm dragging guy.
He sure did.
Jesus Christ. Can this just go the full hour? Fuck it. 94, this is how we're going out, baby.
Iron Man match right now.
Jesus Christ. Bulldog's like, fuck, this guy ain't Brett.
Holy stretch marks on Bulldog's chest there.
Yeah, he's always kind of had him. You know who else has always had him, who I never really noticed until kind of recently, was Ric Flair. Ric Flair's got a lot of bad ones, too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Kind of towards his arm and the armpits. It's like a really weird spot on his chest.
All right, yeah.
I've noticed that before.
Jesus Christ. Bulldog just did a crucifix.
2.
Tatanka had to stand there for about 37 seconds to let Bulldog get around, plant his feet, then jump, and then take him over.
Yeah.
Tatanka could have countered that 7 times.
Right. Do you think Tatanka has to pay taxes since he's now with the corporation, or does he just get waived? No,
you know what? That would be a great way to turn him babyface.
Right. They're like charging him taxes still.
Yeah. And he's just like, wait, Irwin, I thought we had a deal. And Irwin can be like, no one makes a deal with IRS. And he can just be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Get a stalling suplex there.
And then that's your main event for WrestleMania in 1997.
I mean, I'm glad you said it because I was going to say it.
Yeah. And people are probably going to be like, 1997? Yes. Carry it out for about 2.5 years.
Right.
Blow off at WrestleMania 13.
And I think at the end, they should, like, the angle should be like Tatanka beats IRS, right?
Yeah.
And gets a huge settlement of money. So then Tatanka turns into almost the heel because he opens a casino as a Native American.
Yeah.
And he's like this really rich casino owner, Native American, and like IRS is like down in the dumps and broke. I think that'd be perfect.
And that's your main event for WrestleMania 15.
Right. Forget fucking Austin 316.
Yeah.
Tatanka 2.5 mil says he just whipped your ass.
That's right. Erwin R. Scheister just said 421 for April 21st season, baby. I'm collecting all that taxes you owe me.
That's right.
But with a smile because I'm a good guy now.
Some bitch.
Yeah. Before the commercial that we just saw, Bulldog tried to do a running power slam, but Tatanka's a fat piece of shit. And, landed on top of him. And he's now maintained control. So,
God damn it.
And I mean that with a compliment because I do like Tatanka, and he's not that big of a guy. And he's not fat.
Well.
But for Bulldog, he's a fat piece of shit.
Here's Ted.
Ted's just like, what am I doing? He's just looking.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do.
He's still waiting for that WCW contract to come in the mail.
He sure is.
They
He's
sent
probably still
it
waiting for
weeks
that settlement from '93 to come in for his back.
Right. I'm very surprised these guys are getting this fucking long for their match because we've gone to about 3 commercials at this point. They just keep doing the same spots over and over.
Yeah.
It's a flying body press there by Bulldog.
Yeah, and then he just rolled out. Tatanka kicked out, and then Bulldog must have been just having fun.
He's older, sold it.
Yeah, he rolled to the floor,
right.
But it took him like 5 rolls to get over there.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I thought somebody was going to come from the apron again, or under the ring, the way that they were angling the camera there.
I hope they just parody the Lex Luger coming on Nitro thing, but like nobody knows what they're parodying. So he just comes down and stands there and they're like, what's Lex Luger doing here?
He doesn't work here. Wait a minute. Yeah, he does.
Punch to the gut. I'm pretty sure I did that training spot the first month of wrestling school. So that's fucking cool.
Yeah. And then a snap suplex, more of a snap throw.
Yeah.
Running clothesline. Let's try another one. Great.
Weak. Oh,
what was that? Bulldog was gonna go run the ropes again, but I don't. Hey, Lex!
I called it, dude.
DiBiase pulled the
He
ropes
doesn't
down.
work here.
Lex just plops down next to Bulldog and is like hugging him, like, "Are you okay?" And then
Fuck me
DiBiase's
later.
begging
That's what he whispered to him, "Fuck me later," and then stood back up.
Oh man, that's a DQ, isn't it? Luger's
What a
beating
bunch
up
of
the time.
bullshit.
Oh no, they're gonna get in there. This is gonna be. Don't hit him, Lex.
The
Oh
forearm
well, he just
coming.
That's a DQ. Here comes Bam Bam.
What the fuck is
What is going on? All right, well
this
now they're all.
This ain't Survivor Series.
Yeah, guys, you're like 2 months late on this.
This is so stupid.
Did they get their pay-per-views messed up or something?
Yeah, they're like, all right, we got to do the Survivor Series build. Teams come out.
No, Vince, we're going to Royal Rumble. Oh shoot!
Put it in anyway.
I don't care. All right, Royal Rumble. They'll throw him over the top rope then.
So the heels get quarantined to the outside here. Well, Bulldog basically no-so's losing the match and stands with Luger.
Luger and Bulldog are very similar gear, like colors and everything.
And really, same positions on the card. I mean, they're not doing shit.
Right. Which is kind of, baffling because, you go to last year, you would have said Bulldog and Luger. Oh, yeah, you're probably two of your top guys. Yeah. Now it's like, no. Royal Rumble report. Now, last time we had a Royal Rumble report, Todd told us 10 people that are coming for the Royal Rumble match. And we laughed hysterically at pretty much all of them. Yeah. And the last one that he told us was like Dick Murdoch, which I don't know why Dick Murdoch for the Royal Rumble. Who the hell would think Dick Murdoch would even win it? I don't know.
Well, me. So thanks, Dick.
Oh, sorry. Todd's got an interesting shirt here. It's I don't know if that's black or green. I'm gonna say black. No, that kind of looks green.
It almost looks like a brown, maybe.
Or a brown, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all like
polka dot brown shirt.
He's still got his mullet. He's got an earring in his left ear still.
Yeah. And his signature, he's always got the bracelets and the gold watch on.
Yeah. January 22nd, 1995, Tampa, Florida. The Royal Rumble.
Tampa Beach. I recently went down to Tampa Beach for a New Japan show that I paid $80 for a ticket.
I'm going to a WWE show tomorrow.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Horrible decision. But go ahead, sorry for your New Japan.
Yeah, so I spent the $80 hoping to see all my favorite New Japan stars, and lo and behold, there was like 3 Japanese talents on the card, and the rest were either American or based in America. So that was fucking cool. Thanks, New Japan. Thanks, Gato.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So here we go. Here we get Lex Luger announced for Royal Rumble. Mr. Bob Backlund. King Kong Bundy. Doink the Clown. Fucking awesome. Quang. Can't be more excited for him. Adam Bomb. I think they're just recapping who they announced. The Dumpster. Dick Murdoch. Henry Godwinn.
We haven't even seen Henry yet.
Man o' War. They don't even call him Aldo Montoya. They probably don't know how to spell it. That's it. He's got to be announcing more. Oh, here we go.
Oh, no. There's going to be some more.
Yeah.
They were announced this weekend. Mo. He's winning it. Mabel.
British Bulldog.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 kid. There you go, Bob Holly.
There you go. He's going to win.
Shawn Michaels. I know what you're thinking, Todd. The Heartbreak Kid isn't that popular tonight. Well, I got news for you, pal. After the Royal Rumble, when the Heartbreak Kid is there, not only let me, they're going to love me. And that's a fact. By the way, Pat and Gail, don't you have something better to be doing than bothering me? Get back to work, man. Closed captionings were not really keeping up with Sean there.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is I'm listening to the audio. He wasn't talking that fast.
Yeah, that's
So
probably
it should have been able to go.
championship match. WWF Championship. Diesel versus Bret Hart. Will Bret Hart recapture the gold?
Absolutely. Diesel's going to tap out in the middle of the ring 3 minutes in.
Bret Hart's gonna power bomb him. 30 seconds pin. Bret Hart's gonna win.
That's our predictions, folks. Book it. We'll have to see what Dallas is going to say.
What?
Hey, what the hell,
fuck?
Brett? What is this?
Welcome to my castle where I have a fireplace.
I have a beard now.
I know what you're thinking. This isn't Canada. This is Transylvania, but that doesn't matter. What the fuck is he doing here? What's he talking about, Bob? Christmas?
Yeah, right around this time of year, he's able to appreciate everything that he has.
And,
Sure, he lost the belt at Survivor Series, but he's content. He's good. He's got what he wanted for Christmas, and that's a shot at Diesel for the WWF World Championship.
I thought he was going to say a big multi-million-dollar TV production paycheck.
Well, that probably definitely helps.
Yeah.
He is going to prove that he still is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He does not like Owen still.
Of course, yeah.
Called him a rotten brother. He'll deal with him at a later time. So that's not over. Brett and Owen's going to continue on into 95. That's good.
I'm good, yeah.
Wow, he just told that he hopes that Owen has a rotten New Year. That's rude.
I feel like Brett has almost.
What's this? Intercontinental Championship, by the way?
Oh.
Razor Ramon defending against Jeff Jarrett.
With the roadie pictured as well.
Roadie, yeah.
All right.
Well, see, now that's just so weird to me. Jeff Jarrett hasn't done anything, and now he's going to Intercontinental title match.
I ain't going to question it.
Undertaker IRS is the announced here as well.
Look at the druids with the money signs on the robe in the background.
So stupid. So dumb.
Oh man.
Is that who else we got? Is that it? Yeah, that's about it.
Remember the date. January 22nd.
1995.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. We got next
Couple weeks.
3, 10, 17. No, that's not right. 2, 9, 15, or 16. Yeah, we got about 3 weeks. That's good. I can't wait until they do it like every month. That'll be good.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm kind of excited for the Royal Rumble because it's turning out to maybe be pretty solid other than the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
So
The undercard, I mean, aside from Taker IRS too.
Yeah.
But like Diesel, Brett, okay.
Right.
Razor and Jarrett, that should be
Right.
okay. Henry Godwinn, his debut is next.
I was hoping they forgot to debut him.
I was as well, but
Here we go. What is this
okay. So his theme music right now
Yeah.
is a squealing pig.
Oh, that's so
And he's saying "Suey."
That's so annoying.
If I can find that theme music, it will be the music that is ending the episode.
The episode?
Because that's ridiculous.
Shit.
And I want to point out that he, when he came out, he rubbed his back against the, I don't even know what you like. Not the Tron, but like that little stageway, like he was a freaking animal, scratching his back.
Yeah, I didn't even realize and make the connection there.
Yeah, he's got a slot bucket. He's itching himself. Does he have like scabies or something? What is going on?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's Brooklyn Brawler's T-shirt. So
That could be. Yeah, he's dirty. That's for sure. Must have just came out of the hog pen. He's taking on Ron Jeremy here. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Mike Corey.
it really sucks because I want to like the guy. I just don't. I can't get with the gimmick.
The gimmick, I think, is not great.
It's killing him. But the guy is like beating ass right now, and I'm into it.
Yeah, the guy. Henry Godwinn, like the guy.
Right.
For sure. Like,
right.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. But being a pig farmer who's scratching his back now on the ropes because he's itching. What is this? Billy Kidman's dad or something? What is going on?
Yeah, I think that's what they were shooting for that.
This is just kind of bizarre. He looks like a bad. This is the type of guy that's going to feud with Undertaker.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I can just see it now.
This guy's nails.
Right. Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
feuds with guys like Boss Man, Undertaker.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's going to be like, hey, Undertaker, you're going to be dead when I feed you to the pigs at SummerSlam 95.
Yup. Yup, dude. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, man. WWF, what you doing?
Yeah,
What you doing?
You're welcome on that one. He is ripping at his mouth right now. Is that how you treat pigs? Because that's just not very nice at all.
I don't want to know what he does to pigs.
I don't want to know
Because if
either.
he's itchy, if he's that itchy, he's not just feeding them.
He's got a good look too. Like upper body is pretty good.
He's
But
like a big, thick dude.
Yeah. It's just the gimmick is just not. I don't
Right.
know. I'm not digging. I'm not digging it. At least not yet. Who knows? You might grow on me. I don't know. Oof.
That was brutal. That was a good clothesline there.
Stiff closing.
I just can't see a guy like this on the. He's got no marquee value. You know what I mean?
No, right.
You don't put him on the poster with Shawn Michaels and saying this is your WWF Championship match.
Absolutely.
You know, or Bret Hart. You know, every Bret Hart, Phineas, fucking Henry. Oh my God, Henry Godwinn, Bret Hart on the marquee. That's not gonna happen. I almost called him Phineas Godwinn.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. There's I feel like anytime there's an occupational gimmick, you're not going to have that on the marquee.
The only guy right now currently on the show that I could see pulling it off is maybe Bob Sparky Plug Holly.
I mean, I like Sparky Plug, and I think everybody knows that. If I'm going to Madison Square Garden, it says Big Daddy Cool Diesel taking on Bob Sparky Plug Holly, I'm probably going to be like, who the hell is Sparky Plug?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could. All right, Henry Godwinn with a reverse DDT.
I like that move.
Vince says that's called the slop drop.
Oh,
What
okay,
is he
cool.
No, what is he doing? He just rolled him around on the ground with his head, and that gave him the win.
His hair's not good at all. You know, he looks like Danny McBride.
Yeah, a little bit. He does,
Doesn't he?
yeah. That's from Eastbound and Down, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, Shawn Michaels said he's all itchy now.
Yeah.
All right, well,
that's,
so action wise, it's not bad. It's just not a great character.
presentation's not good. Action is good.
And here we go with another ad for WWF Raw
Mhm.
for Game Boy and Sega Genesis. Hey, the first actual look of Hakushi.
Oh shit.
He's got a whole bunch of
Japanese characters
on his body here.
painted on his body.
And I'll tell you right now, when I was a kid, I thought that was real tattoos.
I mean, I think it is.
It's not though.
Thanks for
Right.
giving it away, Bob.
Don't try to trick me here. I'm 30.
That look could get over in 2020.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So that was a little highlight video because it looks like he's rustled on some syndication.
I love Jinsei Shinzaki, by the way.
Yeah, I think he'll be a welcomed addition to the show.
If only they could have got Super Delphin from Michinoku Pro, dude. I would have been all over that.
You're speaking Spanish to me.
Fuck.
Tomorrow night, the Forum in Los Angeles, California, the Holiday Wish Tour. So that's like the first house show that they're doing since.
It's been a while, yeah.
Oh, great! The Bushwhackers will probably be there.
Oh, they're promoted. Great.
Yeah. The Cow Palace. So they're all on the West Coast for the Holiday Wish Tour to close out '94. So that means next week we'll have a kind of a rundown on what they're doing on the house shows finally.
Sounds to me like I'll have a lot of house shows I'll be skipping.
Yeah, most likely. All right, King's Court with Jerry the King Lawler. That means that Big Daddy Cool, or Big Cool Daddy, as Lawler likes to call him, will be coming out.
Great. King's Crown always looks so shitty in WWF.
Yeah. My leg is cramping up mega bad.
Is it your leg or your third leg?
No, it's my leg.
Oh.
I can't apparently bend it without it's just screaming at me, so that's nice.
By the way, speaking of Bob's third leg is as long as my second leg. So
that's a great transition. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Just letting everybody know there. It's King's Court. We're here to talk. I'm going to lay out the facts.
Yeah, if anybody wants a visual, you can just email me at notgonnahappen@yahoo.com.
You ever seen an elephant's trunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, times that by 2.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a dog get excited? Just look at that and then inflate it by about 30 inches.
Right.
And it's the same color.
You should probably go to a doctor for that. Speaking of which, Diesel comes out here. He has had a clean bill of health since he joined the WWF, unlike his old buddy, Shawn Michaels, who again is sitting at the commentary table for about the 3rd week in a row. I can't imagine what he's going to really be able to promote much further here without Bret Hart, but I guess we're going to get a little bit more trash talking and maybe see Bret on a Titantron video again in the coming week. So I don't know. It bums me out that these two haven't had a proper face-to-face yet, and the Royal Rumble's around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're kind of going for the approach of like their first encounters at the pay-per-view, I could get behind that.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say first encounter because they've wrestled already.
And they've had face-to-faces before, like Diesel throw jabs to Bret and
he powerbombed him.
Yeah, right. So there's been brushes before, but nothing directly.
But if they're kept apart, it'll be a big match feel, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder do you think he powerbombs Lawler here?
I'd be totally down for that. So Lawler's offering a handshake. Diesel looks at the camera like, "Are you shitting me?"
You don't break the fourth wall.
And he's seemingly crushing Jerry Lawler's hand. So that's good. What a fucking jerk.
Such a little baby.
Diesel's a jerk for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Guy was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't offer a handshake to pretty much anyone, and then Diesel breaks his hand.
I want Sid to be on the fucking King's Court and just have Sid pick up the bench and hit Lawler with it.
Oh, my God. Just
bring
the
Sid
in. If they were to bring Sid in, I don't care how bad the show would get. I would watch every week.
Dude, you bring Sid in, have him face Diesel, the two giants, the two champions. Fuck you out of that. Let's do it.
Lawler's kind of suggesting that Diesel will lose the belt to Bob Backlund. So that's what they're running with, is Diesel and Bob Backlund on the Holiday Wish Tour.
Motherfucker.
I don't think anybody asked Santa for that.
Yeah, Sean's smiling. He's got nothing to smile about. None of us do after hearing that.
Diesel just kind of stared at him. There's a kid in the crowd with a yes t-shirt.
That's literally all it says on it is yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
But is that Daniel Bryan?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's what it is. Just to give everybody a time check here, because we haven't done one yet, we're at 28 minutes, 13, 14, 15 seconds. So more than half over with the show already, which is very good. It hasn't been too bad thus far.
Yeah, you know what? It actually hasn't. The Bulldog and Tatanka thing, that didn't go on overly long. And Godwinn was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Lawler is doing all the talking here. I think he's trying to really jazz up Shawn or either jazz up Bob Backlund, because Diesel's looking more and more pissed by the second here.
Yeah, he's hyping up Backlund right now, saying he's going to get the chicken wing on him, and he's going to be making Diesel scream, which is just making Diesel kind of grip his hand and crack his knuckles now.
I hate that thing that all the big guys do. Like Kane does it. He's like adjusting his glove. Like, come on, dude. Who does that?
If I was booking this, I'd be like, Diesel, you're gonna have a loaded glove, and you're gonna knock everybody out for about 12 years straight. And then some guy is gonna be smart enough to kind of remove the glove, and it's gonna be revealed that it's loaded, and that's how you lose the strap.
Yeah.
By disqualification after a 12-year title reign.
Right. And then he loses in 30 seconds to Bob Backlund in the chicken wing.
Yeah.
So King here, it's been a while since he's been in the ring.
For
as far as wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His last match, well, aside from Survivor Series, was like with Drosy, I feel like.
Like the last singles match on Raw, I feel like, yeah. And we saw how that went. That kind of disappeared pretty quickly. And for Duke Drosy, kind of the same for that matter. Because we haven't seen him in a while either.
I don't know if Drosy was ever really designed to be a featured act, you know?
I don't know. I feel like they were going to maybe try for it.
Diesel has one wish, and that's for Lawler to shut his mouth.
Oh
my God, he took the crown. What's he going to do? Oh, he tossed Lawler to the floor.
Okay.
Is he going to put the crown on or something?
It's probably got lice in it. It's a rib.
Oh, that'd be good.
This is so stupid. Oh my God, he looks so stupid with that on.
That looks pretty dumb.
His hair looks like the berries and cream guy from the Skittles commercial.
Yeah, sure does.
This is so stupid.
This is so funny that he's trying to be this like hero in a
like
high
cool
school gymnasium.
Dude. Yeah.
I'm the prom king.
Oh God.
I did it.
The crown is just too small for him.
Oh yeah.
Are you sitting in the chair? Of course.
He's sitting.
Of course.
He's so cool. Look at him. He's so cool.
He cocks the crown. Really?
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, now we're tag team championship tournament. Oh, is this just this is going to be a highlight probably of bodies and
yeah. I thought that was a pretty lame presentation of the champ there.
Yeah.
How about you, Bob?
I don't think that was executed very well.
No.
Because he looks so corny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like he's trying to be cool. I don't like that.
Yes. But it's kind of like he kind of came across like Lex Luger.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, I'm freaking Big Daddy Cool Diesel from like the summer.
Yeah, it didn't feel natural. Yeah. Felt a little forced.
Yeah.
We are both looking forward to the new Head Shrinkers versus Owen and Anvil, so that should be pretty good.
That's probably the biggest match of the tournament.
Yeah.
At least the first round.
Oh, God damn it.
Here's Quang.
Do you remember where Quang got his name, Bob?
Yeah, from the ring post. Quang.
From Yokozuna running into the ring.
Yeah, Quang.
That's a shoot, man.
Yeah. I wonder if Quang knows that he's being replaced probably by Hakushi. Does he know?
I hope so. I hope it's very obvious for him that he sucks.
What if Quang forgot to put his mask on one time, and when Whippleman takes it off, it's just revealed as like some random guy?
Fucking Savio Vega, here he is.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Who's he facing here?
I don't even know.
Billy Ray Cyrus, I think that's who it is. Oh, okay.
Central.
All right.
Oh, I think it's Rich Myers.
Oh, it looks like Pillman Jr. a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
The mullet's definitely a little bit more pronounced.
Yeah, Myers just did like a somersault, like back bump, but Quang didn't really touch him. I don't know.
No, not at all. We get the tease of the mist. Fuck you for that.
Yeah.
It was a good sidekick, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. Okay.
Oh, he did green that time. Wow.
We get it. He has the pills in his mouth and he's just doing it. We get it.
Oh. What the fuck is this shit? Why is Fink doing a picture-in-picture, Bob?
Fink apologized for pulling down Harvey Whippleman's pants last week.
Oh my god.
And he said that he only did it to prevent Harvey from interfering in the well-done Bushwhackers match.
I wish Fink would pull my pants down and just kiss me right on the ass for that.
Yeah. The amount of time that Harvey and Fink have been getting to advance their feud is pretty much the most alarming thing.
And the whole thing, yeah, and the whole thing is like the payoff, if we even get one, isn't gonna be fucking worth it.
No, it's just gonna be Fink probably beating, Whippleman in some dumb match.
Right, and how many people are paying for a ticket to see that match? Here's a fucking shocker. Nobody.
Yeah.
This match is going way too long here.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. This is his second burst of offense for Myers.
Yeah. Way too long.
Yeah.
Quang's one of those guys where as soon as I saw him, I just didn't enjoy his stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know he's a ripoff.
Yeah, the second you know that he's kind of imitating somebody, it's
stupid.
Yeah, it's dead in the water. Spinning heel kick by Quang, and that should do it. It sure did. Well, thanks for coming to this local high school establishment, Rich Myers, but I have to escort you out.
Yeah.
Spinning heel kick.
Harvey in the ring here as if he mattered a fucking bit to anything that just happened.
I hate Harvey Whippleman so much.
Yeah. I don't even think Sean was watching that match, so that's...
I wasn't.
That's good. I enjoy that Pamela Anderson is going to be at the Royal Rumble. Who in the blue fuck is this guy?
Vinny Pazania?
Okay.
Oh, they're promoting a boxing match.
What the fuck?
I guess this guy is fighting Roberto Duran.
Wait, is this a real boxer?
Yeah.
It's not like a wrestler debuting.
No, this is a real wrestler. Or a real boxer.
Oh.
He wants a piece of Shawn Michaels after he's done with Roberto Duran.
Most boxers do want a piece of Shawn Michaels.
Oh, so this guy lost to Roberto Duran previously.
Oh, is he on mic? Is he talking?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. He's psyched up for. He does his best work late at night, if you know what I mean. This guy's cracking sexual jokes on Monday Night Raw.
And throwing these fake-looking fucking punches.
This guy's like, because I'm wild, because I'm crazy. That's why he's gonna win. It's like British Bulldog, because I'm bizarre.
I'm bizarre. I have a history in boxing matches, and I'm gonna win tonight's most recent boxing match because I'm bizarre. Why does he have a Mario mustache?
I don't know why this guy's still talking.
This guy's getting more time than fucking Quang did.
Yeah, he really is. I'm going to find out right now who ended up winning this boxing match.
I hope it wasn't this guy and they just had him promote that long and he lost.
Let's see here. Wow. Okay, so that happened on January 14th. And that guy, Vinny, actually won.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, Vinny won both matches. So they had fought previously on June 25th. And Vinny Pazanese, whatever his name is, Vinny Pazina.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Vinny. He won both times by unanimous decision.
We are getting a vignette here of the Ultimate Fighting Machine coming to the WWF.
Oh, I know who that is.
We did not get a name.
Vince just said his name is Kama. Do you know who Kama is?
Like comma in a sentence?
No, like Kama.
It's fucking Papa Shango, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pissed that it's not Papa Shango though.
I'm pissed too.
Yeah. British Bulldog. We're with Ted backstage, men's locker room, which looks like a bathroom sign.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Oh, the question is, Ted, will you accept the offer of a match?" What is the match, Bob?
So next week it looks like it's going to be Luger and Bulldog against Bigelow and Tatanka.
Okay.
Which really shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
I mean, no.
Undertaker in
Ooh.
action. You know what's pretty funny here is the this Vinny fella, that boxer guy.
Yeah.
He actually fought until 2004.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta tell you, I'm not looking forward to seeing Undertaker in action here.
Nor am I.
Per
Quite
usual for me.
The lights are going out. Shawn Michaels has a freaking flashlight.
He shined it on Vince's face, and Vince's face was like, "Ugh." Like, what are you fucking doing?
And then Shawn was like, "Oh, scary."
That's good shit. What jabroni do we think the Undertaker's fighting tonight?
I'm gonna hope for Chris Canyon.
Ooh, that'd be good. We get, of course, the urn. He's got Bearer coming out with him. I see no druids, though. So they're not teasing that at all, that they have druids. Money Inc. has druids. They're not making it about the druids, which is good.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
No, because I feel like that is like an easy thing for them to have done, and I'm glad that they did not do that. The lighting, the rig that they brought is really good. Oh, fuck. Brooklyn Brawler, great. God damn it. I hope Brawler wins.
What happened?
Brooklyn Brawler is going to be
he's fighting the Brawler?
opponent. Yeah.
Well, that's no
Yeah.
fun.
No, I don't want that either. They're talking about some tennis people here, talking about haircuts.
Andre Agassi,
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
I'm a Rafael Nadal guy myself.
I'm an Andy Murray.
Johnny McEnroe.
Johnny McEnroe.
Yeah. Undertaker's hair looks like a wig.
It looks like he hasn't washed it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's been hanging out with Henry Godwinn. Farm.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. He's got quite a bit of hat hair, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
This is like the whole match, him getting undressed.
That is the largest urn I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's the one with the stupid spotlight in it, though.
Yeah, well, why? Why are they going with a big urn like that?
Who knows, dude? It's fucking Undertaker.
All right, come on, Brawler.
Yeah, jump him.
Maybe this will be like similar to Undertaker Skinner from '93, where we're pretty sure
cut
Skinner
off.
won.
And
Yeah.
you'll never see it.
Yeah, this is gonna be Brawler's biggest win that nobody sees.
Yeah. Undertaker has a history of main eventing Raw. Didn't he main event the first one with Damien Demento?
Did he?
I don't know. I feel like that was the main event.
Well, maybe you're right. No. Wasn't it Shawn and Max Moon or something?
Well, Shawn and Max Moon were on, but I want to say Undertaker main evented.
You might be right. You might be right. I'm not going to bother looking it up, but I think you're right.
Undertaker hits a back suplex here. We are getting barely any wrestling. So that's fucking great. Hence why I don't look forward to Undertaker matches. I say Undertaker and IRS. You give IRS all this shit, Bob. I'd say they're on the same level of excitement in the ring at this point.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you because Undertaker actually does
The same three moves?
Yeah, but there's still moves. IRS does a sleeper hold, abdominal stretch, and a standing elbow drop.
Yeah, I'll take those. We are at just
You're gonna-
a time check here. Time check. We are 2 minutes away from the finish. 44 minutes and 12, 13, 14 seconds. So 44 minutes.
This is not going to be a 15-minute classic.
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, wow. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Brawler, it's been a while since we've seen.
Oh, Shawn Michaels just revealed that the Undertaker is going to be on the Heartbreak Hotel,
Oh, God.
which I would assume would be on Superstars.
That ought to be fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of basically saying that Paul Bearer will
Yeah.
do the show.
Yeah. Next week, they're talking about something about Jeff Jarrett. Oh, he's going to sing.
He's going to sing, yeah.
The long-awaited singing debut of Jeff Jarrett. That's good. So he's finally getting a legit shot at the championship, and they're going to make him sing next week. Fucking awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Sign me up for that.
Yeah. More pacing around here by The Undertaker, just kind of hitting a move, walking around.
Oh, he's signaling for the end here. Is he just going to pick him up and finish him up? Come on, counter it, Brawler. Counter it.
Imagine.
Counter.
His head's looking pretty low.
His arms are not in the correct area either. Just for the record there. That's it. 1, 2. Oh.
What is the paint on Undertaker's face?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, are they trying to make his eyes look heavy or something? Because that's
What the
clearly
fuck?
purple paint.
And it was above his eye sockets, too. It's like
Yeah.
in the middle of his forehead. See it?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Maybe it splashed up on him or something. I don't know.
Well, Undertaker puts Brooklyn Brawler to rest here.
Oh, here's
and
IRS with the Druids.
seemingly, the night is not over.
It's probably Tatanka and Bam Bam. They're going to run in and they get pulled off. Come on, do it.
Oh, we go off the air without anything happening.
Isn't that like that's like one of the first times that they finished with like two guys staring each other down,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
would
for
become a
sure.
common thing years later.
Right.
Every episode of Raw was like, oh, well, we're going to stare at each other.
Right. I was really hoping that one of the Druids would end up being Abe Knuckleball Schwartz, and everybody would be like, wait, isn't that Brawler? Like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, surprise, it's not. Who is Abe Knuckleball Schwartz?
Brawler's dead?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well, what's even crazier is that we have officially done it. We have finished 1994 Monday Night Raw.
Christ on a motorbike, it took a while to get there.
Yeah, but we did it. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna watch 7 episodes of 95 right now. Let's do it.
What?
Here we
Hold
go.
on. We gotta wait here a minute. I didn't really sign up for that.
Here we go, guys. All right, here we go. Yep.
Welcome to episode 110 of IcoPod.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to 95. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Did they skip a week? No, they did not. Okay, cool. I was just going through 95 like I did before, making sure we're all good. And we should be. Yeah. All right. So, what did you think of the last episode of 1994?
A little bit more well paced than probably the last 2 months worth of shows. It did keep my attention a little bit, and I think that they kept some sort of a lid on the bad shit. So yeah, we got a Clang match, but like whatever, we could have got something worse.
Yeah.
We got the debut of Henry Godwinn, which we both talked about. We're not really big fans of the gimmick, but the action in the ring wasn't too bad. So that's at least a promising sign. Still have no interest in Undertaker. Don't really have the interest in the feud with IRS either, despite the stare down to close out the show. I have no interest in a continued Bob Backlund Diesel feud, even if it is just for the house shows. Like, no, thank you. That'll keep me away from probably the house shows for a while. And I think that Brett being away for the time that he has, even though it hasn't been that long, has kind of really pushed him to the background a little bit. It's definitely feeling like he's not the man anymore. So I think it'll be interesting by the time we do see him again, kind of where he'll end up. But yeah, on the whole, not too bad of a show. Went by pretty quick. We only did 2 time cues because really it did feel like it went so fast. So if nothing else, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the previous weeks or months for that matter, I'd say it was pretty average. I don't think it was.
It's not must see, not must see by any means.
It's not must see, but I didn't dread it either.
Right.
So,
right,
and kind of like what you said in regards to Henry Godwinn, I think as a performer,
yes,
he would, if he's going to entertain me, but the character is probably going to leave a little bit to be desired. And I want to point out too, with Kama coming in, which of course is the previous Papa Shango. They're kind of getting bigger heels. These guys are going to be working with Taker, and probably going to be working with Diesel because they're 2 of your biggest guys,
right?
Babyface wise, and you do need to get a new influx of heels into the company. There's no doubt about that. So it's really going to be a matter of who's going to catch on. Is Kama going to catch on and become a huge, big time heel in '95? Who knows? Is Henry Godwinn, the pig farmer, going to be on the marquee at Madison Square Garden? You never know. Crazier things have happened.
I do feel like with the Kama introduction, though, they're definitely trying to play to the Mortal Kombat generation with the ultimate fighting.
Well, right. So yeah, I was gonna say that's actually inspired by the UFC, which was on the rise at this point.
All right.
And Meltzer had noted, and I might mention it in the Observer Notes too in the coming weeks or whatever, but the Kama character is essentially a direct ripoff of a UFC fighter of the name Kimo, Kimo. So if you were to ever Google Kimo UFC, you're probably going to be like, wow, I can see the correlation. I can see why, how that would kind of transpire. So
that makes me not like it already, though. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but so I mean, is a UFC character going to really work?
Right.
At this stage of the game, I don't know. I mean, it worked with Ken Shamrock, but that was in an era drastically different than kind of what we are right now. Like, what kind of offense is that kind of character going to have? Just strikes? This isn't 1982 where it's gonna, that's gonna be suffice enough. Especially when you have a guy like Hakushi coming in, who's doing the springboards and stuff like that. So,
right,
it should be an interesting time period to see how all that plays out. I'm sure Dallas will love it. I'm sure he's.
Yeah, it'll be right up his alley.
Yeah. All right, so how about we close out this episode with our usual year-end awards and then predictions. And the predictions can be people that we think are going to come in, or maybe, this guy is going to win a championship, or this guy's going to do that, or whatever the case may be. We have a few categories, and I know, like, for 93, there might be some categories that aren't on the 94 one, and there might be some on 94 that weren't in 93. But we just kind of roll with it here.
Yeah.
So I'll just, I guess, kind of list these from the bottom towards the top. From there. So your least favorite act in the WWF.
As much as it pains me, because if I can remember correctly, this guy was towards the top of my list in 1993. I chose least favorite to be Doink the Clown for 1994. Bushwhackers was a very close second, but you know what? We don't get overexposed to them to the level we do with Doink. So I really, really don't like Doink.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good answer. I clearly went with the Bushwhackers. Sure, I only saw him like twice this year, That was
Right.
too many times. I don't want to deal with that crap.
Yeah, so it's not good. It's not funny. It's not cute. It's adding nothing to the television shows. I think to be honest, I think the character has kind of come and passed. Like it's not really
Yeah.
worth anything anymore. So,
What about a guilty pleasure for 1994?
Bob, I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, I kind of left that blank, but I'm gonna.
Fuck.
So here, I'm gonna go with my guilty pleasure, a guy or an act that's just like every time I see the guy, I find myself kind of enjoying it.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with Sparky Plug Bob Holly.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one.
I don't know what it is about the guy, but I've been digging it.
Well, realistically, he hasn't really disappointed since we've seen him. I mean, he's been given some bullshit for sure,
Yeah.
but he always is pretty aggressive in the ring, a go-getter, you know. Decent shape all the time we see him. And he doesn't really let his shit character get in the way of trying to be interesting in the ring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he doesn't play too much of the character to get over,
Right.
which I think is very important.
Yeah. So no, I'll give you that one. I'm gonna still go with Adam Bomb, just because as shitty of a year as he's had, and as up and down of a year as he's had, every time I see him, I still have that small flame of hope. You know what? Maybe it's not gonna be today. It's not gonna be 1994, but maybe down the road. So. That's who I had for mine.
I wanted to put Adam Bomb, but there's been just way too much bad for me to even really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up, I have most improved of the year, and this can be from last year or throughout the year.
Right.
So, who do you have as your most improved for 1994?
I put none other than Big Daddy Cool Diesel because he's a guy who, for all intents and purposes, was a background character who has gone from a background character to the forefront of the company. And really each match from the beginning I enjoyed, but he's kind of finally started to get in his groove. I mean, other than the hiccup tonight with the feeling a little bit forced, I think that probably wasn't his fault. That was probably writing's fault. Hey, do this, go out there and do that. We think Diesel would do this. Instead of kind of letting him feel it. But yeah, I would say Diesel for sure has been kind of a guy where more and more it's like, at least if I can get a Diesel match tonight, I'll be good. So.
Yeah, I went with Diesel and the previously mentioned Sparky Plug Bob Holly.
Yeah.
I just feel like every time that he comes out, for Sparky Plug, he just is consistently doing pretty well. So
yeah, he delivers. He delivers what he needs to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about match of the year?
Dude, this was so fucking hard because there's so many like hidden gems throughout the year. But I went with the timeless choice, the match that out of 1994 that I go back to the most. As we discussed after it happened directly, I went with Brett and Owen at WrestleMania.
I'm going to go with Shawn and Razor from the same show, ladder match.
Yep.
It's just like how you always go back to watching Brett and Owen. I routinely have gone back and watched Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. It's probably one of the matches I've watched the most in my lifetime.
Yeah. And it's so funny because that was kind of our sentiments after it happened. So that was April. To see that it kind of stood the test of time, even in the same year with kind of the same guys, between rematches and what have you, is pretty cool. To say, you know what? No, even still, those were the matches.
Yeah. How about feud of the year?
I kind of took the easy way out, and I went with Brett and Owen.
Yeah.
To me, that's felt like the most reality-based, the most tangible feud, and really one of the ones where, despite maybe not being consistent throughout, you still consistently wanted to tune in to see any developments, even if they were little bits and pieces of development. You held on to those. So that's the feud I went with.
I did as well. I mean, it went for, well, it's still going on technically.
Right.
But as a main program, it went on for 8 months of 1994.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was consistently the best thing on television for that whole duration of time.
Yeah.
Manager of the year for 94. I went with Jim Cornette just because he's really the only one that does anything of real substance and even achieves anything.
I mean, yeah. I actually, believe it or not, went with Paul Bearer.
Really?
Just because the fact that there was several months where, again, I had no interest in where Undertaker was, the vignettes that they were coming out with. But for some reason, when Paul Bearer would go in there and cut a promo against, say, Ted DiBiase for the Undertaker versus Undertaker thing, he had a way of sucking me in. And I think we even talked about it one of the Raws after that we watched. It was like, I don't really like Undertaker. I don't like the feud, but Paul Bearer sells it to me. And you know why I think that is because he lives the gimmick. Yeah. Paul Bearer lives Paul Bearer. I think this year he was able to shine a little bit more because a lot of the responsibility of getting Undertaker over was left on his shoulders solely while Undertaker was gone or dead, quote unquote. So I don't know, man. I had to give it to him. I would have loved to give it to Cornette. I'm still a Cornette guy to this day. Controversially, I might add. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that I have to tip my hat to Paul Bearer this year. Even though, again, I'm not a fan of Undertaker. I'm kind of don't look forward to his interactions. Paul Bearer, every time he was on the mic, sold it for me. So,
yeah, I can understand that. Cornette is to me one of just the best.
Yeah,
in bad situations. Tag team of the year for 1994.
This was another really, really hard one because there's been so many tag teams in and out this year. I went with the Bodies. And yeah, and even though the second half of 94, it was kind of a little bit of a decline, I still kind of looked forward to them because they weren't overused. And I appreciated that. They were consistently a team. I was going to go with the Head Shrinkers, but you almost can't because they're only there half the year. So I went with the Bodies by default.
Well, I went with the Head Shrinkers, and I guess you could say Head Shrinkers / New Head Shrinkers.
See how, yeah, and with that, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Even with Samu leaving, Sion comes in, and it's like they're arguably better.
Right.
Which never happens when a tag team, when a member of a tag team leaves,
swaps out. Yeah.
It gets significantly worse.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole Fatu wearing boots and he doesn't know what to do and
yeah, and that's definitely a negative thing. But if you're going with strictly Head Shrinkers, new or original, then yes, absolutely team of the year. Because like you said, how often is it that the team is able to fight back and kind of build themselves back into the same position with a totally new guy introduced? Not very often. So definitely in that case, yes. But again, I went with the Bodies just because that is kind of what we got. We did have a breakup of a team and a new team, and I can't just say one over the other. I can't say the new Head Shrinkers over the old Head Shrinkers, you know what I mean, or whatever. So,
the next one here, I don't want it to get confused with least favorite, but it's most hated wrestler, and that is in terms of kind of being a heel.
Yeah.
Not your least favorite person to watch or anything. So most hated wrestler. I put down Mr. Bob Backlund.
Ooh.
I feel like a lot of people would be like, come on, Shawn Michaels, or come on, Owen Hart.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to know that, yeah, they're, technically heels and they're good at being heels.
Right.
But I think a lot of people still enjoy what they're doing, and they kind of get some level of positive reactions.
Yes.
But with Mr. Bob Backlund, no one is standing up and be like, "Yeah, Bob Backlund's fun."
Right. Right. And I think that's a
Moving
really
about the
good.
building.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point here because when I was thinking about it too, I thought about it in the same context. You know, you could easily say Owen Hart, but can you really? Because he's doing. Look at the matches he was having with 1-2-3 Kid and shit. You can't really boo that. So I actually went with Ted DiBiase. I
Okay.
thought, you know, regardless, he was way overexposed on TV. So I wasn't a big fan of him, but same with the crowd. I mean, he wasn't really in anything interesting, and when he was booed. There was nobody there that was like a Ted DiBiase fan. So even though he wasn't technically an active wrestler for the year, I went with Ted DiBiase for being the most hated guy. Well, I mean, he turns to Tatanka. He's being this dastardly guy. He's pulling all these strings. He gets a fake Undertaker. Ted DiBiase kind of had his handprints and fingerprints all over 1994. So that's who I went with.
That's actually a really good point too. That's a good answer for Ted DiBiase. Wrestler of the year for me, I think this is back to back. Bret Hart.
Yeah. Yep.
All around.
It's
This
just
guy-
really hard to argue that. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you could say Diesel, but I mean, he doesn't really get going doing anything until like April or June.
right.
He's not having 5-star classics by any means.
No.
So
No. And
that's the way to go there.
right. And I totally agree. And you can't really even say Shawn yet. I mean, Shawn's had some fucking dynamite matches this year. Really good performances, good promos, better promos than he was having in 1993. So I think Shawn's climbing up the ladder. I think his name does have to be near the hat, if not in it, for the running. Same with Diesel. Razor kind of had a really rough year. I wouldn't say he's near that hat this year, other than maybe his match and feud with Shawn. But I think Brett by default, just from again the consistently solid performances with regardless of opponent, you kind of have to have him be the one. So I completely agree with you, Bob.
Yeah. So, well, that was. I feel like the last time we did this, we kind of had the same answers for everything, and this time around, they're going a little different.
Yeah.
So the more seasons that we do this, maybe the more we are drifting apart,
Yeah.
and our friendship will collapse.
Well, just like Icopod, really.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So now for predictions for 1995, Austin, how many predictions do you have?
I have 1, 2, 5.
Wow, that is crazy because I just developed 5.
Perfect.
So we'll go from that. Mine aren't really. Actually, there are like a return or debut or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that I have noted for mine. So if you want to go first, then we'll just kind of knock that out before we peace out of here and head into 95.
Yeah, so the first guy on my list is a guy we've seen on WCW for the last couple of pay-per-views that we've been very impressed with. He's a younger guy. He's very dynamite, reminds me of some of the newer guys on WWF programming, guys like 1-2-3 Kid, Owen Hart's offense. Just really, really dynamic in the ring. So I'm hoping that we see at some point in 1995 Too Cold Scorpio to hit the WWF airwaves.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah. He was my first guy. How about you, Bob?
So my first one is not a debut or a return or anything, but with kind of an influx of smaller guys, how about a light heavyweight championship is developed?
Oh, yeah. To get us
And-
kind of going.
Yeah. And how about kind of, the WWF has been kind of taking things from WCW, like Great Muta or Japan, whatever, but, with Muta and stuff like that. How about you kind of recreate in WWF Pillman Liger with a 1-2-3 Kid Hakushi feud for it?
Ooh. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So that could be fun. And, you could incorporate, Bob Holly to an extent could be in there.
Sure.
There's
Sure.
several guys that could be.
Although you could throw in there.
Aldo, Jimmy Del Rey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's countless guys. Mo, you know,
God.
why not? He can just have
Yeah, dude, I think that'd be a really good idea. And I'd totally be down for something like that. I think it would help keep your eye on the product if you know, hey, a light heavyweight match is coming up. And it's probably going to be pretty fucking good.
yeah, and they're going to do things that no one else in the company is doing for the most
Right.
part at that time.
Right.
They're going to pop the crowd. So.
Right. Well, because it definitely seems like that's the way we're headed. So I think that makes
Yeah.
logical sense completely.
Yeah. And you could use the enhancement guy, like Scott Taylor. Like that guy can bump around.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
All right, for my second one, I'm going to say the Smoking Guns are going to dominate the tag team division. They're going to win the tag titles.
Mm-hmm.
And 95 is going to be the year of the Smoking Guns.
Totally could see that happening. I think it's overdue at this point. Absolutely. Totally agree with that one. For my second choice, I went with another debut. I'm hoping to see another WCW name pop over. Another guy we've seen a little bit of, not too much. Hasn't really been on too much of WCW that we've watched as of late, I would say in 1994. But a guy like Shane Douglas, I think, would be a good addition to the WWF roster. He's been doing a lot of indie stuff as of late for the past year. But I think he would be a strong addition to the roster as far as the heel roster would go, especially when you have guys like Candido coming in. I think he'd be a really good guy to work with. And that's kind of what my approach was. So we know there's certain guys coming in from their vignettes because we've gotten quite a few the last couple of weeks. So I approached it as, who could I picture opposing guys like that? So I would totally be down for a Shane Douglas appearance, even from his Steamboat stuff in WCW. We know he has it, and I think he would have a lot of guys to be working with in 1995 WWF. So
I think if the franchise Shane Douglas comes in to WWF 95, that's a character right there.
Yeah.
That could immediately go up the ranks.
Right.
For the heel side.
Right. And he's a guy like who's kind of a total package in the fact that he can talk, he can work, he's got the look. Where Diesel might have the look and can work, but not quite the talk. And you know what I mean? There's not really a total package heel right now. So I think Shane Douglas could easily be that guy. Maybe not the heavyweight championship scene, but definitely IC championship material.
Yeah, I agree with you there. My third one is probably the most important one. I think Sid returns.
Oh,
he's been working the USWA, and USWA and WWF they're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sid returns, and he's gonna win the championship.
Right.
I think he's gonna be the guy to beat Diesel, maybe mid-year.
Mm-hmm.
And that Sid will be the champion leading into the following WrestleMania.
There's a very good chance of that, and actually that was the fourth on my list as well. Sid returns to the WWF and wins the championship. I think we're both on the same wavelength, and the fact that WWF is kind of lending guys down to square off with Sid every once in a while could be a really big indication that that might be something that indeed takes place. And me and you both have quite a sweet spot for Sid, so I think we'd both be totally down for something like that. Will he be the guy to beat Diesel? I don't know. But I do think at some point, you're probably right, maybe mid-year, he comes in and wins the championship. I think that makes total sense.
Yeah, so. That's my best guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like winning at King of the Ring or SummerSlam or something.
Yeah, and kind of going from there. Yeah.
Well, that was your fourth one. What was your? Did you say your third one or no?
So the third one was I had Too Cold, Shane. Oh, so that was, I guess, my third.
Okay.
That's my third one. My fourth one would be Marty Jannetty returning.
See, I was thinking that, but I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
That has to be. That guy seemingly returns every year.
Right. He's like a bad penny. You know, he just pops back up every once in a while. So I do fully expect to see Marty again.
You try to discharge it through Coinstar, but Coinstar won't even take it.
Yeah, it's like the penny that they don't accept. It comes back in the little tray. It doesn't go through. So I do think we will see Marty Jannetty again.
Before or after July 1st?
I'm going to say before. I'm going to say before.
All right. We'll see. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, it's Jannetty. He's always there.
Right.
My fourth one is something that they should have done this year here in '94, but they didn't do it. Lex Luger's finally going to turn heel.
Ooh.
I know. I don't know if he'll necessarily join the corporation or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to turn heel. Maybe even get a manager, but that's not Ted DiBiase, but a different type of mouthpiece. One that's not there currently. I don't know who, because I really don't know any managers that are floating around out there that could help him out. But I'm going to go Luger turns heel. Not necessarily successful in terms of championships or anything like that, but I think it's time to switch it up and just pull the trigger.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing. It's like, okay, so for a full calendar year, basically, Luger has been a face and has done jack shit as a face.
Correct.
So if that's not a clear indication that it's time to sell your stock and consider other options, I don't know what is. Because at this point, Luger's lucky if he's even considered for like an IC run. I couldn't even see him really doing that at this point. I would almost rather... So if you're going to keep Lex face, let's say, he needs to be in a tag team somewhere. Because he can't hold a singles match by himself. He can't hold the interest. And he's just lost so much value that as a single star, he's not believable. He needs somebody to help carry the stardom, and he can't do it alone at this point. So I would agree with you. I think it is time. I think that that probably will happen through 1994. And if it doesn't, that's the route I would go with. I would go with a tag team for him at this point.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, who would you have as a heel tag team or as a face tag team?
it would have to be a face tag team. I could see him working with a guy like 1-2-3 Kid to help him get over, like the All-American team. You know, you have this All-American guy and really the boyhood dream of an indie guy. You know, he's living his wrestling dream. So you have them team up or something like that. Because they're not going to boo 1-2-3 Kid. They're not going to be indifferent to 1-2-3 Kid. And right now they're kind of like indifferent in a big way to Lex Luger. So I think you put him with a guy like that. Awesome. Especially if you don't go the light heavyweight route, because if you do, you have to have 1-2-3 Kid in there. But yeah, I could easily see something like that working. Even Spark Plug Holly, you do Bob Holly, Lex Luger, I think would be a badass team of just two pretty built guys beating guys up. I think you could easily go that route. Yeah, I think there's a couple of guys that they could kind of pair Lex with to hide him a little bit, but shine him at the same time.
How about Lex Luger and Dick Murdoch?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to give it away, but that's like the main team.
Spoilers, excuse me.
Right. So, but yeah, other than that, I don't know, man. I think you're probably right with the heel thing. As far as my final prediction, as much as I do not want to see it, I do predict that we will see Undertaker as the champion at some point in 1995. Because they're not giving up. They're not giving up on Undertaker as much as I want them to. He's still heavily promoted. He's still a special attraction. He hasn't lost that I can think of.
He has not been pinned. I mean, he did lose the casket match in January. But
yeah, but like a clean, oh my God, he just beat The Undertaker sort of deal.
When was the last time when was that? Did he lose at all? Has he lost at all cleanly during IcoPod's history right now?
Not that I know of. Not that I can like directly think of. So that just tells me that it might be his year next year, and I'm kind of bummed out about it, and I didn't want to bring it up, but I've had this sinking feeling for a while now. Ever since he returned, um, I'm kind of feeling like that's a direction we might be heading in.
Yeah. My final prediction is a return.
Oh,
And I'm going to kind of preface this by saying that to go back to my Sid one where he returns and wins the title, I think Sid might kind of team up with Jim Cornette a little bit. And that's gonna irk someone. And that's gonna irk Yokozuna. And I think Yokozuna is gonna come back as a babyface.
Oh God.
And he's gonna come after
Sid
and Cornette's little fellas. So I
Holy
think
shit.
at some point we could see a Sid Yokozuna match
Jesus.
in 1995.
Jesus. That's a pretty bold that's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
That is
Why
I don't
not?
know.
He did everything he could as a heel. I mean,
Yeah, and I think they have dabbled in the exploration of Yokozuna's character a little bit, because think of it, he's been a little bit more comedy.
he has for sure.
A while with the stumbling around and the Yoko claws, and even his look has changed. He's grown out the hair longer. He's not really putting it up in the sumo style. That could be something that they're working on. Absolutely. I could see that, which is crazy to think coming from where we started to now. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No. But I don't know, man. You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
You never know. You gotta throw things against the wall, and who knows what could happen.
And I think that's kind of the time frame of the WWF in this look at it. Let's try this. Let's see what happens if we do this. Let's debut this guy. Let's turn this guy heel. It's all kind of a feeling out process, which I think it makes for a fun watch through and reminisce. I did want to mention too, selfishly, that I do hope as a bonus prediction here that Brian Pillman makes his way to the WWF. He impresses me every time we watch him on WCW pay-per-views. And I think WCW could afford to maybe lose him at this point because they're not really doing much with him. So I would like to see Pillman maybe jump over to the company as well.
I'm going to do one more prediction too. I'll do a bonus one. I think Sparky Plug is going to win the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, yeah. I could easily see that. And I would even kind of pull for it at this point because Razor's become kind of stale, to be honest. That's just how I feel. He hasn't really been featured at all either. So say, Jarrett ends up winning this strap from him, maybe not at Royal Rumble, but down the road a little bit into the year. You could easily do a Jarrett Sparky Plug feud. That would probably be pretty decent.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'd be full on board with that, and I wouldn't doubt it from happening.
Yeah. So that's our predictions, and hopefully over the next however many episodes of 95, any of these come true. Hopefully all of them come true.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. So this is it for 1994. Next week, Hogan 98 Money joins the show. And of course, we're going to kind of fill him in on what he needs to know about.
Mm-hmm.
So that way he's not completely going in blind. Maybe we'll do that on air. We'll tell him, hey, man, this is what's going on. Kind of gauge his reaction from that.
Yeah.
And then we'll watch the first Raw of 1995. And seemingly from there, Dallas will be part of the show. And I think we'll get genuine reaction from him because, again, I don't think he's seen any of the 1995 stuff. So,
right. And I think, too, I totally agree with you. And I think, too, like we kind of did in the first episode ever of IcoPod, I think it would be beneficial to run down the roster. So we'll run down the roster of January 1995, kind of see where we're at with that, or even, December of 1994 or whatever, to kind of really help fill in the blanks for him. And I think it's going to be very cool that we've already switched over to the live format. So like you said, Bob, it's not going to be so much where he's taking notes and we kind of get the second-hand reaction. Dallas is going to be reacting right off the bat to stuff brand new. really kind of jumping right in, because you got to think, me and Bob have been at this for 2 years. Dallas is kind of just jumping into the deep end with us. So we've already got our swimmies on. We're prepared. Dallas ain't even put his fucking swim trunks on yet. He's going fully clothed with a cell phone in his pocket. So that'll be quite interesting to kind of unfold and see how that unravels for him.
Yeah, and the more that we talk about them, just the more kind of excited I am for to finally see what he thinks of WWF 95. Of course, it's the year that a lot of people think is one of the worst in WWF history. I tend to kind of disagree with that, because in recent years the WWE has been pretty fucking bad. Kind of makes 95 look good in hindsight, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what you guys think, and of course, anybody listening to this, you guys can always share your thoughts, and feedback about what we're watching and your memories of what was going on at that time. So don't be shy on the good old Facebook, or emailing us, icopodcast@gmail.com, and we'll read them on the air. Don't worry, guys. We will be getting back into WCW with or without Dallas. I'm not sure how we're going to play that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the potential of going down to the land of Extreme, because I know there's super cards around the network now as well. We can venture our way over there, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We don't want to do too much on this show.
Right. Well, I would say we definitely plan on recording some WCW pay-per-views very soon. Just like Bob said, it is time to kind of catch up a little bit with that. We haven't stopped going to the movie rental store. We see the tapes. We see that they're there. We've just saved up our money a little bit. So we are ready to start renting those VHS tapes, popping them in, and seeing what happens with that. Of course, those are where our live formats started. So if you do enjoy what IcoPod has become, definitely check into those bonus episodes. And most importantly, like Bob said, share your memories with us. 1994 is in the bag. If you remember or have any even random memories of 1994 WWF programming, share them. Let us know. We'll go over them. We'll talk about them. And who knows, Bob might even have some similar kind of stories to share, or things that he remembers, because of course I wasn't born until April of 1994. So I don't have too many memories, but I think it's always cool to kind of get that perspective. Hey, I was on the bus and we were talking about this, or
Mike Campbell's been good with that.
Yeah, that's always one of my favorite parts of our show, when you guys send stuff in. So, whether it's a Facebook comment, whether it's an email, a Facebook message, whatever it is, definitely share with us, because we always do look forward to those.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we'll be looking forward to those in 1995. 95 is a big year. A lot of changes are coming. Other shows are coming. So it should be a lot of fun. Austin, do you have anything else here for episode 109?
I never thought we would be here, Bob, but let's grant the year 1994 for WWF Raw a rest in peace.
For Austin Skinner, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been Ico.
You gotta hear it.
Come on, pigs! Zoo-wee! Pig, pig! Come on! Woo! Pig, 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 pig! Zoo-wee!
Later.